These are Dexa Drask's Gauntlets, who is on the Mandalorian Mercs forums, a lot of Firestorm clan. First are knuckle plates. They sit on the top of the hand. They have large hands. Slightly shaped sort of like the Stormtrooper knuckle plates. They are either 5052 or 7000 series aluminum alloy, 14 gauge. Like the actual gauntlets, or if you want to get technical, bracers, because they don't cover the hand. The base is more the same aluminum as the hand knuckle plates. It's been cleaned up with a 80 grit flap wheel. I'm not sure the actual name for this stock. I'm just going to call it perforated U-shaped aluminum stock. Now inside for these cannons, the way I made them is there's a long 5/16 inch bolt, and that bolt runs the length through these. Here's a stainless steel tube. One of my recruits, Jonathan Sullivan, gave me some yard lights, which I also used part of on this. This is just brass tube. I scored these lines with a pipe fitter. Then these are parts of concrete anchors. I just trimmed off the part with the writing, and they go on as so. They'll be glued shortly. The main cannon was a piece of scrap steel stock in my metals class. I modified it on the lathe a bit, polished it up. For the end I have this knob dial thing that will also be glued on. The fasteners used are 632 green zinc plated, or maybe it's yellow zinc, I'm not sure, it looks a little greenish to me. Steel truss head machine screws, and obviously I used thread lock. But for the closing fasteners I used the Piano Hinge method. So on either side you have a long strip of hinge, and on the interior side, as in inside of the elbow, you have the pin removable. So I'll demonstrate momentarily. Good enough. Get a vice grip, or if you're on crush mounts, or even use pliers, and just pull it out. And there you go. Before sending these out, I'll oil these and clean them up with some like 100 grit sandpaper. Although my personal tip towards the matter is you can either get a 1/8 inch pilot bit and go all the way through this, or you can get, instead of using the original rod that comes with the hinge, you can get one size down. So for example, this is 1/8 inch, I would use 3/32 brass rod so that it can't get rusted in, because it's not fun when your armor gets rusted to you. That's why I don't use steel, although the piano hinges I can't get in anything but normal steel, although these are nickel plated, so that's better, but the inside is rustable. So to attach the main cannon, I just used, I first pre-drilled and then put some self-tapping screws, and then the heads kind of snapped off because of the torque of the drill. So then I used rivets, and then I realized, oh wait, I have to put some kind of anti-rusting chemical on the bottom of it, so I had to take it off again, and instead of putting rivets, I trimmed concrete screws and put those because they're slightly wider and removable with a 5/16 inch head. So, onto the other side. Just open this up. So this is a pointy piece of plastic that shoots out of the gauntlet and impales people. No, it doesn't actually shoot out. So this is the bottom spike of the lawn garden light thing, and you can see part of the stainless steel tube still on it. So that's attached with a 1/2 inch by 1/8, or 1/8 inch by 1/2 inch long aluminum pop rivet through there, and this is a 3/16 pop rivet into the back, which is a chopped off piece of a measuring gauge from my metals class, because a lot of people are idiots and they don't put the support on the other end, and while they're cutting, all of a sudden it bends and twists at like 70-degree angle and spinning and busting the lathe, and well, they're idiots. Anyways, so this is actual U-shaped aluminum stock, 3/4 inch. Or no, that's 1 inch. Anyways, I trimmed the back at an angle, then I trimmed another piece the opposite way to match up with it, and then I drilled a 7/32 inch hole and tapped a 1/4 inch bolt into it, and that is attached with a self-tapping screw and another self-tapping screw and children's wishes. So yeah. That was the left gauntlet, and this is the right gauntlet. The right gauntlet has nothing on this side. Well, weapon-wise. Same story with the fasteners and the hinge and these cannons. But for this part, it is a flamethrower, and basically this centerpiece is not brass, but it's actually brass-colored lacquered aluminum from a curtain rod. So it's a good place to get stock is curtain rods because they have the ridges on them, similar to the barrel of a DC-15 long rifle. And anyways, so on the lathe I drilled into the back so that I could kind of empty out the shavings as I was drilling and stuff. So this is actually attached to the front piece and the back piece with pop rivets underneath, although you can't see them from the inside because they're between the piece and the gauntlet. So, oh, and these cannons are mounted with a short pop rivet going in and in, because I drilled all the way through the bolt. So it goes in, and then also through the inside twice. So yeah, and then this is mounted with pop rivets and self-tapping screws. Demonstrate once again. So here is 2 self-tapping screws, both 1/4 inch. That one's actually self-tapping, that one's just a pointy sheet metal screw, just so you know. These holes are from when I snapped the heads off of the other self-tapping screws. Yay. And yeah, so these are Mandalorian protector style gauntlets. I probably won't be able to get many more parts like I put on the top for a long time after like a week and a half from now. So a pair of gauntlets just like this, now that I know what goes into them, well, with different U-shaped stock. I don't have any more of that. But very similar to this. So basically like the same thing. Maybe slightly different cannons, although pretty similar. Would be like, well, considering there's lathe work. For the short amount of time that they are available, these would probably be around $150. The reason why they're $150 is, no, there's no welding, but to get these is going to be impossible for a very long time after the next couple weeks, and that's at like legitimate lathe machining, and I spent about 20 hours working on these. So 20 hours, even if I work that out to labor as $10 an hour, that's $200. So I don't really do it by the hour because, well, that would mean I'm getting into paperwork, and paperwork's stupid, and it's like school, and I'm done with that. No more of that. So, yeah.